Greetings Pathfinders, and welcome to the first video in our coverage for Curse of the Crimson Throne. Just like with Rise of the Runelords, we're going to start off here with a spoiler-free primer for Curse of the Crimson Throne. If you wanted to see things unfold as the videos come out, just watch this part and then head on over to part 1 of Curse. After that, we'll dive into the more spoiler-filled section, designed to give you everything you'll possibly need to be ready for our dive into this second official adventure path. If you're going to be playing in the AP or following along with the videos, you can skip this part. With that all out of the way, let's go right into the spoiler-free background, starting now. Korvosa is a city of highs and lows. For those with money, power, and prestige, you can find all the finery of Cheliax and all the exotic goods of Varesia at your fingertips. For those without, you have dirty, crowded streets, bustling with crime bosses, eager to exploit the desperation of the downtrodden for a little bit of coin and prestige. Pretty on the outside, rotten on the inside, Korvosa mirrors her monarch in startling ways. The king Eodred Arbasti II is dying, wasting away from some sickness no one can cure. Many whisper that the Curse of the Crimson Throne is here to take another king with no heir. But while he lacks a son or daughter, Eodred does have a wife, the young and beautiful Ileosa Arbasti. Newly arrived to the city just 4 years ago and married after a scandalously short courtship, Ileosa is a schemer and socialite through and through. She's just oh so heartbroken over the condition of her older, lecherous husband. Trust me, you can tell if you look behind all the extravagant coronation plans she's cooking up. It's way there in the back, you can see it. But the actions of the high and mighty are of little concern to the common people. For those on the streets, a much smaller but no less impactful name is on their minds. Gadrin Lamb is an old, washed-up has-been of a man, clinging to the scraps he's gathered in his prime while always slipping through the grasp of justice. He's hurt many people, including you. Maybe he framed you as part of a scheme, or kidnapped a loved one. Maybe you were once one of Lamb's lambs, his cadre of children who scour the city streets for pennies to line his pockets. Maybe he sold you that first hit of Pesh, or simply looked the other way at a wrong moment. Whatever he's done, he's wronged you, and many others besides. One such woman is Zalera Esmeralda, and she has sought out others like you to do what so often fails to happen on Korvosa's streets. Bring justice to someone who deserves it. Alright Pathfinders, that's a nice juicy hook, right? Mysterious informant setting you up on the trail of a crime boss who's wronged you in the past. Fantastic setup. However, there is a lot more going on behind the scenes, and this is simply the prologue to what will become an epic battle for the lives and souls of Korvosa's people. To give proper context though, we need to jump back in time quite a ways, before the sky turned dark and the earth trembled, before Korvosa, before Cheliax, before Earthfall was even a glimmer. Thassalon was an empire of sin, and one of its first and most powerful runelords was Sorshan, the runelord of lust. As a powerful immortal wizard, Sorshan had a lot of time to research magic and develop powerful artifacts. One she was well known for at the time was the rune wells, liquid concentrations of magic that a runelord could use to empower themselves. But what few are aware of is that Sorshan actually based these rune wells off another magical artifact, one that she found rather than invented. The Everdon Pool's origins are unknown, though some esoteric sources point to the denizens of Lang as its ultimate creators. How Sorshan found or gained control over it, we don't know, but that isn't really important in the grand scheme of things. What does matter is that Sorshan had it and used it as the base for the rune wells, which she and other runelords perfected. Though it lacks some of the later creation's power and versatility, the Everdon Pool remains a potent artifact even into the modern day. Sorshan hid the pool away prior to Earthfall in a pyramid called the Shining Queen. After the whole asteroid thing resolved, the Shining Queen became the Sunken Queen and was largely left alone by the survivors of Thassalon, because you never know what kind of weird things the runelords had in stasis for a rainy day. It currently remains sunken off the coast of Varesia and will definitely not come up again at all. Definitely not. Definitely. Probably. But that's a good transition to the other thing buried in an ancient Thessalonian pyramid that we're here to talk about. This pyramid was also built by Sorshan at the site of her capital in Zin-Eurythnia. In fact, it's where she's currently buried, far below in chambers no one has seen in centuries. That's probably also not worth worrying about. What is worth noting is the Shoanti that inhabited the area. The Sklarqua, the Sun Clan, inhabited that region and considered the pyramid a sacred location. Many revered Shoanti dead were buried in the surrounding area. They didn't much care to explore the interior, the old memories of Thessalonian masters transitioning into a general distrust of their ancient monuments. The Shoanti would inhabit this location for generations with little issue, until one of their number came seeking help. In 4508 Absalom Reckoning, the warlord Kazavan died. Originally sent to fight the Orcs of Belkzen on behalf of Ustalav, Kazavan proved to be a tyrannical warlord bent on building his own army out of conquered orcs and humans. Part of the secret to his success was his nature, as Kazavan was a powerful dragon in human disguise. Devoted to Zon Cathan, the god of pain and suffering, Kazavan spread his god's message with gusto. He was opposed and eventually defeated by a group of adventurers led by a paladin from Lastwall named Mendravius. But the dragon would not rest easily. His corpse continued trying to reassemble itself and return the dragon to life. He was just that evil. Many methods were used to destroy this, including acid, fire, and holy energy, but while most of the body could be destroyed, some of it just wouldn't go away. And since it kept trying to reassemble itself, it was decided that if they couldn't destroy it, they could at least split it up. A member of each party took a piece of Kazavan and scattered them far and wide. What happened to the other 6 pieces is a story for another day, but the 7th piece, Kazavan's Wicked Fangs, are very relevant. One of the party members that killed Kazavan was a Shawanti shaman of the Sun Clan, Koja Eyes of Flame. He took the fangs of Kazavan to each of the Shawanti clans and asked for their wisdom in containing the great evil, for even sundered and scattered, the dragon's unholy power radiated from his remains. Eventually, Koja determined the best place for them was inside the Great Pyramid, guarded by his people, locked away, never to be found. He entered into Grand Mastaba and was never seen again, locking the fangs away forever. Until the Chelish came and ruined it all, because they just loved doing that. The city of Korvosa was founded, and after a long and bloody fight, the citizens there colonized the area around the pyramid of Grand Mastaba. The settlers built a castle on top of the pyramid and often used the exterior stone for construction, but didn't much venture inside. Seasons changed and monarchs shifted until just before the start of our tale, when a young woman from Westcrown named Iliosa comes to the city. Seeking power and status, she used the king's well-known predisposition towards younger women to seduce her way into power, becoming Korvosa's queen after a very short courtship. Iliosa was eager for this power, but her ambition was always tempered by a wary understanding of her own position and hesitation to make bold moves. Seducing the king was one thing, that was already kind of in her wheelhouse. Taking the reins of the city was another thing entirely. There was a part of her that was simply waiting for Eadred to die. After all, he was pretty old and not exactly the most healthy, and Korvosa's throne is supposed to have a curse on it, killing each ruler before they can produce an heir, so he's probably gonna die soon, right? But Eadred continued to, well, live, and Iliosa was increasingly worried she'd either have to have a child with him or do something about it. The thought festered in the back of her mind, but didn't get much traction, until one day she went exploring in the vaults below the castle. Always a wonderful idea, with no negative consequences. Now technically, she wasn't supposed to be there. She borrowed the keys to go look at pretty trinkets and maybe find some coins to pocket for an indulgence or two. Instead, she found a secret passage that seemed undisturbed for generation. Eager to find even more wealth for herself, Iliosa explored deeper. What she found were the fangs of Kazavan. The dragon's unholy essence called out to her, worming its way into the queen's mind. It didn't dominate or control her, it just kinda pushed a little, giving her the confidence needed to say, you know what, I am queen and I do deserve to kill my husband and rule unopposed. Iliosa walked out of the secret passage with purpose, and Korvosa will suffer for it. Now, killing people is kind of hard when you can't be obvious about it, and Iliosa wasn't a professional. So she decided a little contract work was in order and contacted Galarian's foremost assassins, the Red Mantis, a sect of assassins that worship the god Achakek, who you probably already guessed looks like a red mantis, but I'll confirm that anyway. Now, there was one little wrinkle to Iliosa's plan. The Red Mantis assassins won't take out a contract on a rightful monarch, for religious reasons. So they wouldn't kill her husband, no matter how much she paid. But selling you a way to kill your husband, that's just fine, that's totally within the rules. So yeah, Iliosa had been poisoning her husband for quite a while, and he's about one step away from death. But simply killing Eadred isn't enough. Iliosa has much grander ambitions than simply being queen. She wants to transform Korvosa into her own personal kingdom, which, okay, look, it kind of already is, because she's, the queen of it, but like, more so. I mean, look out at the streets. There's people there that don't defer to her absolute power, and all those pores just sitting around being dirty, going on and on about needing money and food and wanting a better life. Don't they know that's annoying to hear? What do they expect the queen to do about it? Public works? How about the public get to work for her, am I right? So yeah, Iliosa has plans for this city. The armored women called the Grey Maidens are a part of the next step, and her future plans are even worse. Kazavan's malign influence pushes her further into depravity with each day. Korvosa's Crimson Throne will drown in blood as Iliosa herself becomes a curse upon the city. The crown bears its fangs, and the city feels them at its throat. And through it all, the worst elements of the city are still going to be assholes about things. When these events first start, the players aren't going to be in a position to deal with any of Iliosa's stuff. Their concerns are down to earth, being called together by Zalera as Miranda to seek justice for all the people Gaedren Lamb has harmed. Come to her shop for a meeting and a free hero reading. She promises it'll be worth your while. And there you have it, Pathfinders. That's everything you need to know as we make our way into covering Curse of the Crimson Throne. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please take a chance to do all those YouTube things, check out the Patreon, all that fun stuff. Now shuffle your deck and deal out the spread, for the Harrow has something to tell us as we draw back the curtain on Curse of the Crimson Throne next time with Edge of Anarchy. And until next time, Pathfinders, explore, report, and cooperate.